Hi there, I'm Alex Goldberg and I'm the creative director at Ogilvy Cape Town on the Volkswagen South Africa creative account. And today I'm going to be talking about how brands have adapted to the corona outbreak. And I guess brands have been obsessed with being part of the conversation since the very beginning. And for the first time in history, they actually have no idea what to say. Um, Nothing like this has ever happened. And brands are trying to kind of navigate their way through it without actually coming across as disingenuous, flippant, or downright soulless. Society's bullshit meter is at an all-time high, and you will suffer death by social media if you don't read the room. Some of the brands that have been trying to capitalize on this have just been destroyed and just kind of fall by the wayside. The ones that have succeeded have looked to make a meaningful difference to the world and consumers right now. People don't want to be lectured, and we can already see there's a kind of corona fatigue becoming a thing. Like, people will see the mention of it and scroll on to the next banana bread recipe. I think people have kind of very well aware of the world we're in now. They don't kind of be constantly reminded by it. And kind of for the first time in history, like, society has a common goal, like around the world. And this pandemic has created a platform for rival brands and companies to kind of join forces for the greater good. While some brands just come up with different ways of telling you to stay home and wash your hands, others are kind of walking the walk, and that's amazing. And like, they're using their budgets and their expertise and influence to keep the world turning where everything else is kind of standing still. And it's hard. Like, we're doers. We like to make stuff, and we don't like to sit idle. And people having to sit home and not do stuff when the world was moving at such a rapid rate is challenging. So I think a lot of brands are aware of this. They're aware of this, feeling compelled to do something and make something and be part of the story, but also not do it just for the sake of it. So a lot of them are kind of paralyzed by their fear of fucking up, which is natural. Social media can be brutal. I guess the truth is, brands can't afford not to put people first and humanity first. Lives and livelihoods have been lost, and it'll continue like this for a while, unfortunately. But knowing that money is going to get tighter as the weeks go by, and people are going to get more stressed, and lives are going to change, it's vital that brands kind of exercise compassion when it comes to their customers. So you can see some brands are offering payment holidays, like rent freezes, complimentary upgrades to their internet providers. Just kind of some of the ways that some of the brands are helping their customers get through this. And I think that's looking at the bigger picture. The brands that are looking at the bigger picture are the ones that are going to win and do this right. They want to make sure that the customers they have are going to be with them at the end, and the customers they don't have are still going to be with them at the end. Are going to start buying into their ethos. And I think a lot of brands have, obviously, you look at the way things operate, like, we'll work on content plans for a year and a half, 2 years. We know the products we're launching, the people we're speaking to, how we're looking at doing it, and then we work through. And we interrogate that stuff. We kind of work through to find out what is the best way, what's going to kind of work well, what's going to speak to people and connect to consumers. And now that's kind of all been put on pause, and we all kind of on holding patterns, just trying to figure out what is the right way for us to play a role in this. And obviously it's easier for some brands. And the brands that are doing it well are the ones that are once again putting people first. So you look at like all the ones that like the Woolworths and the ShopRites and the like all the kind of brands that are generally like they're putting their cashiers and their clerks first, which is it's quite a strange feeling to sit back and sit inside while other people are out there kind of caring for us. And I think the brands that care for them and show care for them are the ones that are doing it right. And you kind of look at the way that society has adapted to a new way of living and working, and our brands have to find a way into their homes and their phones. Media spends have kind of halted or shifted entirely to social media, where it's getting increasingly tougher to stand out due to the incredible influx of kind of quarantine-induced creativity, TikToks, home workout regimes, and all the different kind of variations of banana bread that have come to the surface. I've done one. It was awesome. So the truth is, like, if you're not, like, it's a new world, and if you're not online, you don't exist. And I think for a while, a lot of brands have kind of managed to exist like in the real world. and I say it like that. Their products of tangent, like are tangible. Their customers are they're customer facing. They have people walking through the doors, and now they don't have that. We've seen a lot of companies and brands have had to change the structure of their business entirely and move it online, where they never really had an online presence. And they know that they still can't sell their products online, but what they can do is kind of just start building their brand, just in the mind of the consumer, start getting people to see like their ethos and their ways of working, and give people more reasons to come to them when this is over and we have the freedom to kind of move around, and do the things that we kind of really took for granted. And you just like look about how quickly things can change. Like a few weeks ago, celebrities and influencers are idolized and celebrated. Now it's healthcare workers, store cashiers, and council workers. And they are the protagonists in a new world story, and the brands that are helping them will be the ones that prevail. It's incredible. Just the priorities and the things that we value have entirely changed. And just with a matter of weeks, it started with like a news report coming out of China, and boom, we're all, locked inside, day 12. And we're living in history. And I believe the only way to be part of it is to make a meaningful, genuine difference to people's lives. It can kind of be big or small, informative or entertaining. It just needs to improve lives and brighten someone's day. And kind of people are doing it. Musicians, directors, artists, writers, bakers, yoga instructors, comedians, and a variety of others are finding ways to showcase their creativity online and find other ways to connect to their customer base. You look at comedians now starting to do online shows from the comfort of their homes, and it's kind of funnier. It's getting a bit weird because you can see them getting crazier by the day. And where they once they were like once kind of doing a gig in front of a couple of people inside a comedy club. Now they're doing it online, and all the South Africans all over the world are tuning into it. And I think this is what's interesting is like you can see it's brought up this new sense of nostalgia. You can see a lot of like South Africans overseas are starting to look back and kind of engage with brands here, because it's just obviously it's kind of a sense of home. I guess no one really knows what the future holds, but I do know that life will obviously never be the same, and people will look at everything through a different lens, including the products that they buy and the brands they follow. So the way that the brands operate now will massively dictate how they will be after this happens. So if they do it right now and they play a meaningful role in people's lives, they'll not only kind of still maintaining the love they have from their current customer base, but they'll start pulling new customers who have found a new reason to come to them. And yeah, I think it's going to be super interesting. And I think like the brands that I think it's massively important for brands to be part of this story. I think people need some light, they need some hope, they need some escapism. They also need to be helped. There's a lot of small businesses out there who have kind of had to close shop and will struggle to even open the doors when we eventually get to open our doors. And the brands that can help them to kind of give them that push, to get them kind of promote them, to kind of will win so much. And I think as a society, this could change us for the better. I don't think we're ever going to truly look at anything outside in the way we used to. People are just going to be stoked to get into traffic again and feel and see a taxi come in front of them. They're like, oh, fuck, I've missed you. But I guess until that time comes, we can't really look at this period of, oh, it's just a couple of weeks and everything will go back to normal after this. I hope it doesn't go back to normal, because I think things weren't right before. I think we were on a bullet train that was just going at a rapid rate, and we were just consuming everything, It was actually consuming products, and now it's consuming information. And I think people are going to start looking at the way they view arts, and experience the world in a different light. And I think, once again, brands have a massive role to play in that, to make sure that this time we have, we can kind of keep our sanity, keep happy, keep positive, and put the people that are caring for us first. So on that note, so stay safe, stay healthy, and try the banana bread. Okay, bye.